วัสดีครับผู้บริหารและบุคลากรของสำนักงานเศรษฐการคลังรวมถึงแขกผู้มีเกียรติทุกท่านที่สนใจเข้าร่วมรับฟังการเสวนาในวันนี้ผ่านแอปพลิเคชัน WebEx ผมนายชัยวัฒน์ หาญพิทักษ์พงศ์เศรษฐกรชำนาญการสังกัดกองนโยบายพัฒนาระบบการเงินภาคประชาชนครับ
และดิฉันนางสาวญญาภาษรพงจิกเศรษฐกรปฏิบัติการสังกัดกองนโยบายภาษีค่ะเราสองคนรู้สึกเป็นเกียรติเป็นอย่างยิ่งที่ได้รับหน้าที่เป็นพิธีกรในรายการ Localish เอื้อมลึกถึงภูมิภาคประจำเดือนมกราคม 2568 ภายใต้หัวข้อ Fostering Equality Transforming Communities through Inclusive Finance
คุณเพชรก็ด้วยความที่วันนี้เรามีแขกรับเชิญเป็นชาวต่างชาตินะก็ขออนุญาตสวิชภาษาแล้วกันนะฮะเป็นภาษาที่ lingua franca ครับเป็นภาษาอังกฤษแล้วกันนะแล้วก็ on this special occasion the local reaching deep into the regions is deeply honored to welcome two distinguished guests Mr. Thierry, an eminent expert in impact investment and financial innovation and Mr. Robin Lavrilloux, Senior Investment Officer based in Bangkok from the Grameen Credit Agricole Fondation, headquartered in Paris, France.
Allow me to provide a brief introduction to the Grameen Credit Agricole Foundation. It was founded in 2008 through our visionary partnership between the Credit Agricole Group and Professor Muhammad Yunus, a Nobel Peace Prize laureate. This foundation is dedicated to addressing poverty through the promotion of inclusive finance. Its mission centers on empowering underserved communities, especially women and people in rural areas, who are the main role in driving sustainable development.
Yeah, and currently the foundation provides long-term financial support to approximately 80 partner organizations in more than 40 countries worldwide, meeting the unique development and adaptation needs of each region.
Yeah, as mentioned, it is great privilege to welcome Mr. Thierry and Mr. Robin Lavrilloux to our program today. To officially commence this session, it is my distinct honor to invite Dr. Pisit Popan, Director of the Macroeconomic Policy Division, to deliver the opening remarks. Dr. Pisit, may I kindly invite you to take the floor, please.
Good morning, Mr. Thierry and Mr. Robin Lavrilloux and all the participants from the Fiscal Policy Office. So I think today is a good time that we meet together to discuss a very interesting topic. So for me as the Macroeconomic Policy Division Director, it's my pleasure to welcome you to this month session on the local reach, reaching deep into the region. The program has been the cornerstone of our effort to explore and address the critical challenge facing the regional economy in Thailand. So this topic is very important to promote the financial equality and financial inclusion, which will be important to transform the community in Thailand. So I think today's topic, fostering equality, transforming community through the inclusive finance in Bangladesh, is a subject that will go to the heart of the building the fairer, stronger, more resilient society. And that could be a case study for Thailand. So I think financial inclusion will be a tool for economic growth. I think it will be the pathway to the opportunity, empowerment, and lasting change for the community in Thailand. So today I'm honored to welcome our two distinguished speakers, Mr. Thierry and Mr. Robin Lavrilloux, to bring a wealth of experience and success in driving innovative financial strategy. I hope that your insight today will provide us with the understanding of the role of financial inclusion in addressing the inequality and empowering underserved community in Thailand. A real-world example of how inclusive finance can transform life, particularly for women and rural entrepreneurs and businesses. Strategy that could overcome challenge such as low financial literacy, lack of infrastructure, financial infrastructure, and also the global lesson can inspire actionable solution tailored to the Thai context. So I'm certain that today's discussion will be not just exchange of idea, but it will be the opportunity to think about how can we, as a policy maker, because I think the participant and the audience today are mostly from the Fiscal Policy Office, and we are the primary policy maker of the Ministry of Finance on the economic and financial policy. So I think we can adapt this strategy to drive the meaningful progress in Thailand. So above all, I would like to take a moment to thank everyone that make the team that make the session today possible, the organizer, and also the speaker and all of the participants that join in the meeting today. So your participation reflect the shared commitment to create the inclusive and prosperous future for all in Thailand. So let me officially open the session, local reach, reaching deep into the region. And I hope that we can have an active engagement in the conversation today. Together, I hope we can uncover ideas that can make real action happen in Thailand. So let's begin today's session. Thank you.
As we move forward, it is now time to dive into the heart of today's program, the interview session. We are truly honored to welcome Mr. Thierry and Mr. Robin Lavrilloux, who will share their profound expertise and perspectives on the transformative role of inclusive finance in empowering communities and driving global development.
Yes, to begin, good morning again and welcome to Bangkok officially. Yeah, you've been away 6,000 miles away from here and you flew to Bangkok. Thank you very much again. To begin, let's explore the context of financial inclusion. Could you share insight into the state of financial inclusion in regions that you have experienced, facing significant socio-economic disparities, or how have innovative financial strategies transformed communities in similar settings around the world?
So first of all, thank you so much for inviting us and hosting us here at the Ministry of Finance at the Fiscal Policy Office. Thank you, Mr. Chaiwat, Mr. Bunyarat, and Dr. Pisit for the kind introduction and the kind exchange so far. We're very thrilled with Robin to be here. Just to start with and to give a bit of introduction on the Grameen Agricole Foundation, we do have a 20 people organization based in Paris. So our foundation was created in 2008, as you mentioned, as a Luxembourg foundation. We do have a commercial activity that sets the business in 4 different activities. The main one being the impact debt financing, where we provide microfinance financing in emerging markets. So that's one key insight that we'll be able to provide information in. The other business that we do have is the equity participation in social businesses, which is the heart and the core of the Grameen Trust, which is our partner since 2008. We also do provide technical assistance and advisory for our partners on the field so that they can structure themselves in their corporate functions. And we do advise some funds in the fund advisory business that we launched in 2018. For geographical focus, we partner with around 70 partners, which are located in emerging markets, mostly in 40 countries. So in the areas of sub-Saharan Africa, we have 3 people, Kenya, Ivory Coast, Senegal. And we also do have a big exposure in Southeast Asia and Asia Pacific in general, where now Robin is based. So our total portfolio is about 80 million in size, and this is like equally distinct between Sub-Saharan Africa, Southeast Asia, and also Central Asia and Europe. For the context about the financial inclusion, from our experience, we see that throughout the world, there are many people that are still unbanked. And Grameen Credit Agricole Foundation was created in 2008 on the basis that we can serve developing MFIs who have final beneficiaries in rural areas, local populations, mostly women, targeting entrepreneurship, promoting economic development for those people. So by providing financing to those institutions, we think that we can improve the living life of the final beneficiaries. And we see that most of the people benefiting from our effort are in these regions, because we feel that these are the right regions to work in. So this is one key aspect. The second aspect that I can mention is about the financial literacy in those underserved population. We think that it's very important as an institution to help and to provide information to our partners. So we're deeply working with them when we are providing financing to commit and allow our expertise to step in. So this is one reason why we created a technical assistance and advisory program. When we work with our partners on the field, we try to identify not only the funding need, but also the need in technical assistance. So we can connect with consultants on the field as well as local teams to help improve the overall institutions. The third aspect that I can mention, and the final aspect for the financial inclusion context, is about the infrastructure and technology. We think that developing markets is very important and large for us to work in. But sometimes in some regions, there are trouble accessing financial literacy or even reaching the institutions for the final beneficiaries. So it's very important that infrastructure is here to work.
Thank you very much for your insight. That you mentioned that you're building on the three aspects of the financial inclusion.
Yes.
So I would like to know that the success stories, like more practical example scenario in other countries that have some kind of same structurals like Thailand, because we would like to know how to learn from that success story to apply to Thailand. Would you share about it?
Sure. So I can definitely provide some examples with regards to empowering communities and how our organization, Grameen Credit Agricole Foundation, has provided social impact. So we did have some key examples here to share. For example, Senegal, which is a country in sub-Saharan Africa that we do work in. We do have a presence in there through different partners. One partner being a microfinance partner called Kori, that we're here providing financing since the early years of the foundation. Kori is a rural microfinance partner that is based in Senegal, and we are partnering with them since 2009. So it's a partner that we know for a long time. We've been providing not only the funding link, but also continuous exchange in technical assistance and other programs as well. In our opportunities and the development programs that we have set up with them, we also did improve the lives of the women entrepreneurs they're working with. So Kori is a microfinance partner that is more than 80% dedicated to women and to rural population. So by helping them in the funding need, we did have a social impact towards the local population, serving them throughout the different branches that they do have in the country. We also work with the Vision Fund network, and we've been working with Vision Fund in Senegal that we are providing funding since 2022. So that's also a key example in which we do provide debt financing to help set themselves the need of the partners. Different examples other than the traditional financing that we do is through social businesses. So we do have example in businesses which are in the agricultural aspect. We try to help them provide an initial investment, trying to structure their agricultural supply chain. So there are two businesses in Senegal in which we have provided equity stake to begin with. One called SFR, which is more in the rice industry, so producing rice in paddy fields, deeply rooted in the Senegal countryside. So those rice production is made from very small farmers and agricultural people in the countryside of Senegal, and we're very proud to help them in this area of the Senegal River Valley. And another example that I can share here is the HDP business, where we try to bring French expertise to work alongside some Senegal entrepreneurs. So we have also invested in them and tried to provide our expertise to structure the supply chain so that they can better serve and improve their business in this area. So those are two main aspects.
That's quite very impressive. As you mentioned, the foundation have very directly experience with the agricultural sector that our story quite similar to Thailand as well, having a problem. And finance that Mr. Thierry mentioned is essential to help them get out of the poverty. Yeah, one of the pressing issue, if I would like to ask later, is about the inclusive finance is overcoming challenges and seizing opportunities. What strategies have proven effective in overcoming barriers such as low financial literacy, as you mentioned, or infrastructure gap between those countries? Like you focus on sub-Saharan and Southeast Asia country, yeah, and cultural resistance. Can you share a little bit about it? Yeah.
Thank you. So I can share some examples. So we all mentioned some challenges related to the lack of infrastructure. So at the foundation, we think that in order to tackle this lack of infrastructure, we need to support the rapid adoption of digital technologies. We have that, for example, in East Africa, also now in West Africa, but using mobile money, mobile wallets, mobile banking, it can really help remote communities reach financial services and also reduce operational costs for clients to reach these services. You have also, like, in order to prevent issues related to cash, you have Scan, for example, in Thailand that works very well and can also protect staff in the financial inclusion sector, where there's a lot of cash handling. Using alternative methods can also protect the staff. We mentioned also issues related to gender bias and cultural bias, where sometimes minorities are left out from the financial inclusion sector. We found that also with women. So studies have shown that when we are supporting women, helping them in their business, it has really like reaping effects on the economy, on the household, education of the children. So we are also encouraging the partners we work with to support them. So not only in terms of quantity, numbers of women served, but also in the quality of the service, making sure that the services are tailored to the life of women. That are often, they have often a lot of tasks to take care of in addition to their job. So it needs to be taken care of. And we also encourage institutions, the partners we work with, in leveraging the close relationship they have with their clients to provide trainings. So it can be financial literacy trainings, business trainings, but it can also be on other aspects, such as health. During the COVID, for example, there were a lot of institutions that provided health advices to these remote communities, and we are encouraging institutions to do that. We are trying also to directly to support the institution we work with in order for them to overcome the challenges they can face. During the COVID, all with like-minded investors, for example, all institutions faced issues with repayments, with clients not being able to move, repay the activities, economic activities were affected. So we work with like-minded investors and lenders to support institutions. So meaning aligning, providing grace periods to institutions, aligning the financial covenants, aligning the reporting burden in order for the institution to focus on recovery, supporting their clients as well with grace periods, for example. We work in Myanmar. We all know that Myanmar is facing a political crisis. So with the partners we have in Myanmar, we are working on tailored restructuring agreements to make sure that we can provide them with support related to their long-term sustainability. Maybe in terms also of overcoming challenges, there's an example about Uzbekistan. So before 2016 in Uzbekistan, the microfinance sector was really small and secluded, also because of the regulation. It was very difficult for institutions to grow and open branches, grow their outreach within the country. And from 2016, there was a change of regulation. The country started to open up and was more inviting towards international investors. So with 33 million inhabitants, most of them unbanked, with many impact investors, we decided to come and intervene, try to identify partners to work with. So what we did is that I went on the field, meet with many institutions. Some of them were still not investor ready because they were relatively young. There were some issues with English, or they still need to be supported by technical assistance. So we provided some technical assistance, some guidance to several institutions. We identified one very promising institution, and then work with them on social performance management, client protection practices, in order to make sure that all these new clients, all these new people that would, for the first time, integrate the formal financial sector, even though it is microfinance, so financial inclusion, that to make sure that these new clients would be protected at all times during their loan maturity, in terms of knowing their responsibilities, knowing what they are taking the loan for, the pricing of the loan, and then that even though they could be in default or face an issue, that they would be protected by the institution. So that's what we did in Uzbekistan. We work also with these partners on supporting women, making sure that they have the right products to help them. What we also have is that we offer now what we call KPI, so key performance indicator linked loans. So it's a type of financial product that is growing right now in the impact investing world, where we link a financial incentive to the achievement of a social outcome. So we work with the institutions to see if their mission is aligned with ours, empowering women working on clean energy, climate issues. And if we find an agreement on or a strong alignment of mission, we can provide a small financial incentive, meaning a reduction of interest, if the institution during the loan maturity managed to reach social outcomes. So we have that in India, for example, where the institution we work with has outcomes related to trainings, to business training to women, and providing clean energy loans, for example. And maybe another example about overcoming challenges would be Cambodia. So the microfinance market in Cambodia for the last 20 years has grew significantly. It's now quite huge, but it is facing an over-indebtedness issue, meaning that the average loan in Cambodia for microfinance clients is close to 4,000 USD, even more right now. And it is becoming a problem. So for the past 5 to 10 years, the whole financial inclusion sector has come together to try to find solutions, or at least to work on solutions in order to support the clients. And for example, there's been support from the government with like a dedicated financial inclusion strategy, frameworks to help all stakeholders cooperate. There has been also the implementation of stricter regulations, stricter measures. There has been self-regulation as well with the support of the National Microfinance Association that works on developing action plan, monitoring the sector, the microfinance sector. There has been support from international investors as well. So we developed, for example, an index that helps monitor the market saturation, and which is now used in Cambodia, but in other countries in the world, to monitor market saturation, meaning that to see if there's any risk of over-indebtedness, risk of rising over-indebtedness in some countries, to make sure that we know we are aware of the situation and can try to implement measures. Investors also have been more and more responsible in Cambodia towards responsible lending, implementing, pushing their partners to do more in terms of client protection, in terms of repayment capacity analysis, limiting refinancing, this type of things. There has been some support from NGOs, local NGOs that worked as whistleblowers to make sure that the voice of the end beneficiary of the clients can be heard, and that for the stakeholders to be more and more responsible in that matter. So that's about Cambodia and what we are trying to do in Cambodia. Some examples of overcoming challenges that as a whole, as a sector, we are trying to work on.
Right, Mr. Robin, as you mentioned, a very big step that the foundation have involved in many countries like Senegal, Uzbekistan, you mentioned, and Cambodia, and those countries have a very diverse, I mean, entirely different, I mean, like in terms of factors. The thing I would like you to ask you about, from your experience, what are the key success factors in implementing inclusive financial practices across that diverse region, in your opinion?
Okay. About key success, I would think so. Policy is very important. So an effective credit bureau is very useful. So trying to encourage all financial, even non-bank financial institutions to participate in the credit bureau is very useful, as it provides trust in the system, and it can help also banks downscaling, reach out to excluded people, because if banks know that the credit bureau is working, it can help them do that. I'd say also having or helping put in place a national association is really helpful, as we work a lot with national associations, so for the microfinance sectors. They can provide trainings to their members. They also their lobbying activities towards regulation is really helpful. So having a strong association is nice. Then there's also, of course, a good regulation is needed. I have a counter example. For example, so there's a big microfinance sector in Sri Lanka, for example. But in Sri Lanka, for the past 10 years, there's been a framework, financial inclusion regulation is lacking. And this is becoming more and more of an issue. Why? Because there's very strong and good players in the microfinance sector in Sri Lanka, but there's also some bad apples. And because of the bad apples, it generates a reputational risk and some potential credit risk in Sri Lanka. So, for example, there are some loan sharks that are disguised as a financial institution with bad practices related to pricing, transparency, and or that are well known for violent recovery practices. And it makes us difficult. It is more and more difficult for international investors to come in and participate and form the partners there, because even though we can identify very strong, impactful players on the field, the fact that there are some bad apples can generate political issues where some local governments in Sri Lanka can encourage clients not to repay because of the bad players, and then the clients maybe they would also not repay the loans to the good players. So when you add on that some political instability, while some institutions are really needing funds to support the communities there, it is difficult for us to go. So I'd say like a strong political framework is needed, with also good monitoring, inspecting players wherever they are. So even in outside of Bangkok and in rural communities. But something also that is useful, and we've seen regulators do that, and it works well. It is to implement strong client protection practices. So we already talked about that, but you're working on a lot of aspects related to PICO finance. So making sure that you are encouraging the formalization of informal institution. This is good, and you're already doing a lot on client protection. You mentioned, for example, protecting clients from unfair pricing, making sure you have an interest rate ceiling, depending on the loan size and if the loan is collateralized or not. This is needed. There's also related to client protection practices. There has been a lot of work from the international community for the past 10 to 20 years with the development of the microfinance sector, with many non-for-profit initiatives. There is one right now that is doing an amazing job, which is called Cerise SPTF. It gathers a lot of knowledge on what to do, what not to do related to microfinance, and it also has support documents for regulators. So related to client protection, there's of course microfinance institution. They need to develop tailored products and services to their target clientele. So it's a clientele that sometimes they don't speak. They speak only local languages. Some have some difficulties reading. So the services need to be tailored to this specific target. Of course, there's a lot of rules related to transparency in order for clients to know why they are taking the loans, the responsibilities attached to such a financial burden. There's rules related to prevention of over-indebtedness, making sure that there's a thorough analysis of the expenses and revenues of the clients before they take a loan. We also, institutions also need to have a functioning complaint mechanism system in order to monitor any potential issues raising from their operations. So this is something that you are already working on. but I'm sure there's on Cerise SPTF website, there's going to be a lot of support for you, or you could even try to reach out. They'll be happy in exchanging. As they are working a lot, they have someone located, I think, in Cambodia, and they are working a lot in trying to solve the over-indebtedness issue in Cambodia as well.
So thank you very much for your insight about your experience. I would like to know about the opportunities because, as you know, Thailand has made an impressive progress in digital payment system. I would like to know that how would you suggest our country to leverage the digital payment system to boost the financial inclusion in our country? And based on your experience, I would like to know about the consumer protections as well, because this is the big issue in Thailand right now. So in your experience, would you have any policy recommendation about that, please?
So maybe regarding financial digital literacy and think that I'm not I'm here only for the last 2 months, but it looks like everybody is using Scan, so which is like very useful. So it means that most of Thai people, they have at least some type of bank accounts, and it can also, I'm sure it can also be useful to transfer money or to repay to the bank, for example. So regarding digital like this type of financial literacy, I think Thailand is far more advanced than other countries. So this is good. On the client protection, I know that you're working also with informal institutions, village funds to support them and to provide them with guidance on how to be more and more formal. So I think you need to what you need to do is making sure that you have in mind all main client protection practices and see how you can reach out to all these informal institutions to share the best practices related to client protections. So there are some rules. Most regulators that we work with, they already implement in their regulation rules related to transparency. So I'm sure you already have some types of rules like that, making sure that clients have all a loan agreement, then the loan agreement details the main characteristics of the loans. So this is like, I would say, like 101. Okay, clients, they need to be informed. Then you can push also for institutions, even informal ones, to work on repayment capacity analysis. Okay, if they provide a loan, it's nice to assess the informal income of the clients, but it's also nice to push a bit further, meaning work on the cash flow of the clients if the loan is used for income generating activities. A debt repayment capacity threshold could also be very useful. So making sure that after analyzing all the sources of income, all the sources of expenses of the household, there's enough for the family to survive and thrive. So with expenses related to education, food, etc. And then I think when you have all of these covered, so client protection practices, what would be also nice is to try to encourage institutions to do more. So of course, providing funding is needed in order to support the activity of the clients. But I don't really know where the market here. I'm not here for long enough. But encouraging clients to receive new types of loans related to climate, for example, maybe could be useful. So making sure that they have access to clean water and that they can access clean energy if they want would be also, I'm sure, useful. It's useful in in all countries, in France as well, trying to provide loans for renovating houses and or clean energy.
Yes, and with respect to what Robin rightfully mentioned, we do have some very powerful initiatives that we are launching here in Asia and in general in the emerging markets. He mentioned the fact that yes, there's a need for populations to adapt themselves with regards to the climate crisis, so climate adaptation solutions. What we want to do here at Grameen Agricole Foundation is also to develop our business, and we are currently working on the upcoming launch of a dedicated fund, which will target Asia opportunities in the private debt funding, where we want to help microfinance institutions, so financial inclusion partners in Asia, mainly, as well as directly small and medium-sized businesses that are very keen to develop climate adaptation solution products and serve local populations. So this will be very important. This project is very important for us, and we're currently stepping up to try to meet with potential companies in which we can invest so that we can help those local population and serve them better with increased products. The fund will be focusing on women empowerment, so which has been one of our core focus at the foundation since our inception, and also the climate adaptation solutions part. So the combination of those two key elements in the investment thesis, we think it's a game changer. We think it's highly innovative compared to what we've seen so far. And we're very thrilled and keen to launch that whenever we can.
We got one question from Dr. Narapat. Dr. Narapat, the floor is yours, please.
Hi. Actually, this is not like a question. I just want to share both of you about our experience. Right now, the Ministry of Finance is trying to do some, initiative that is somewhat similar to what you guys are doing. We try to help the unserved and the underserved group of people that has been left from the credit market. So we try to utilize the big data that we can collect, so that we can help alleviate the asymmetric information, because most of the low income earner, they tend not to have information that the bank can observe, and then they will be left out from the formal credit market. So we try to have big data that go beyond the bureau data, the credit bureau data, or the traditional information that the bank use, and then try to estimate a credit scoring model that incorporate more information into it, so that the unserved and underserved group of people can have more chance to have access to the credit market. But this initiative, we just we are still working on it. We don't have it yet, but I just want to share you the idea. Thank you.
Thank you. I just wanted to react about what you just said. I totally agree. We are seeing a big progress about the use of big data or metadata. It is starting in East Africa. So in East Africa, they launched mobile money. It's working very well, M-Pesa, for example. And now they work a lot on the use of metadata, also algorithm, and soon artificial intelligence to make sure that they can identify a new type of customers via big data. So, and then for sure it's going to be useful as we are all using our smartphone a bit too much, maybe, but it's going to be useful for first-time clients, for clients that cannot show the banks any type of collateral or past loans.
Thank you. I also want to ask that actually so far we can observe that some of our private banks try to use alternative data and give personal finance, personal loan. But when I talk with the banker, they said this is not like not very successful because they cannot assess the risks properly using those alternative data. So do you have any suggestion or experience that how can we use or utilize the alternative data so that we can assess credit risks better?
So right now, I'd say that it's only the beginning. So I don't have any success stories to share. I'd be extra careful as we know that algorithm sometimes they are not fully transparent. They have also their own bias. So by using this type of algorithm, you need a strong IT team to make sure that first they know how to interact with it, they know how it works well, that it's not a black box. And then you need strong audits, IT audit of the algorithm to ensure that it does not generate any discriminatory issues, problems. But I'm sure that, yeah, all countries are working on that. And right now, we have a few institutions that we work with that are well digitalized and that are launching this type of pilots. I'd say it's still pilot phase, and that they didn't crack the system.
Today, this session has been nothing short of extraordinary, and it has illuminated the transformative potentials of inclusive finance in empowering underserved or unserved communities, advancing sustainable development, and fostering resilience in economies, both locally and globally.
And yeah, before drawing today's episodes of Local Reaching Deep into the region to a close, it is my great honor to invite Dr. Nolapat Asawawalop, the General Editor of the Fiscal and Finance Journal, to deliver the closing remarks, please.
As we conclude this insightful session on fostering equality, transforming communities through inclusive finance in Bangladesh, I want to take a moment to reflect on what we have gained from this discussion. Our distinguished speaker, Mr. Thierry and Mr. Robin, have generously shared their experience and expertise, providing us with a clear understanding of how financial inclusion can serve as a powerful tool for empowering communities and creating lasting, equitable economic growth. Their stories of success combine the practical strategies for overcoming challenges have been nothing short of inspiring. On behalf of the Macroeconomic Policy Division, the KM team, and the Fiscal and Finance Journal, I extend my deepest gratitude to our speaker for their time and for sharing us their experience. Your contribution today have enriched our understanding and inspire us to consider how we can apply this lesson in our own work. And for those who wish to revisit today's insight and share them with others, we will be publishing this content of this session across our digital platforms, including FPO Macro Sedekit Chiu on our Facebook channel, the Fiscal and Finance Journal Facebook fan page, our YouTube channel, and our official website. We hope this resource will continue to, spark meaningful conversation and action beyond today. Lastly, I want to thank all of your participation and engagement. I am confident that the ideas shared today will help us move closer to a better future. Thank you. I wish you all the best in your work ahead.
And once again, a huge thanks to all of our speakers and everyone tuning in today. We are grateful for the unwavering support from our amazing sponsors. Krum Thai Bank, the Export-Import Bank of Thailand, Thai Credit Guarantee Corporation, the Government Pension Fund, and the National Credit Bureau. Your contributions make this program possible, and we couldn't do it without you. And lastly, before we close this section, don't forget to mark your calendars for the next episode of local reaching deep into the regions. We will exploring another exciting, more impactful story that showcase regional growth and innovations. You can stay in the loop by following us on all platforms. The Facebook fan page of the Macroeconomic Policy Division, Macro เศรษฐกิจชิวๆ and the Fiscal and Finance Journal official page on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Blogdit.
Right, on behalf of everyone involved in today's program, thank you ever so much for joining us. We look forward to welcoming you again next time. Until then, take care.
Thank you.